You know what that sound means. It's
Friday!
Friday! Woo! It sounds like it's Friday since like Wednesday, so I'm glad it's actually Friday.
Friday
Welcome to the
3.
Jam, everybody. Yes, thanks for joining us. I'm Amy Rutledge, alongside John Hansen and Miss Felicia Lawrence. Going to start your weekend off right.
Yeah, boy, we are. We're going to have a great show tonight. We had a great weather day again. Boy, what a nice week weather-wise. Temperatures topping out in the 50s again. Here's a live look at the Royal Sonesta Chicago Riverfront cam. And you can see the sun has just technically set. When we join you on Monday, it's going to be bright out for our show. Sun not setting for an hour later. More on that in a bit. 3-day forecast for the weekend shows a little bit cooler on Sunday. So tomorrow, another great day. What a great Saturday. We cool down Sunday, get cloudy skies. And yes, as we start next week. So I shouldn't have said it'll be brighter because it might be snowing when we talk to you on Monday. So let's enjoy the 57 that we got tomorrow, everybody.
Very minimal snow, I hope, because I just took my snow tires off my car today.
Just some light snowfall, won't accumulate, mainly on the grass. You're good.
Okay, perfect. All right. Let's move on. A large group of Illinois Democrats are tearing into FEMA after the federal agency restricted who could make vaccination appointments at the United Center. 11 of the 13 House Dems were part of a letter sent to FEMA today arguing that restricting appointments to Chicago and suburban Cook County residents hurts vulnerable portions of the state. Today, Senator Dick Durbin also said that he would be hopeful that a wider variety of people would soon be included into that after they restricted it.
Yeah, I feel like, the United Center should certainly be open to everyone just because of where it is and the volume, the number of vaccinations that we're talking about. Some of these areas that are more prone to, that are more exposed, some of these areas that are more exposed, like let's say Inglewood, for example, they already have their own vaccination clinic, a couple of them there to try, they're trying to get these vaccines to the people that need them most. So there are also other people outside of these at-risk areas in Cook County and suburban Cook County that need it too. So why not?
Yeah, I was all ready to be riled up and be like, no, it's in Chicago. We got to get our people taken care of. But if you work in DuPage County and live in Chicago, you can get a vaccine in DuPage County. So there's so many people that work in the economies around the area, which are where most of these representatives are from, not Cook County, but obviously DuPage, Will, Grundy, all of them, that work here in Chicago. So yes, they should have access. And not only that, these were federal dollars that went to create this site. I think that it's wrong to limit it. The one thing I will say is I do hear a lot of people complaining down in more central and east central Illinois that they can't get appointments there. I go on to Walgreens and I enter those zip codes and there are tons of appointments available this weekend through the weekend. So I like the idea of limiting it to people that work or live in the city, including those people in the immediate counties around us.
I think it should be limited to Illinois residents because, frankly, if you are going to be a person who is, listen, I don't live in Cook County, but I am registered in Lake County and in Cook County because I work in Cook County downtown. But whoever can get it to me first, where I work, makes everyone else safer, and I want it. So if you have this open, and it's, again, like you said, John, it's federal dollars. If you have this open to people of Illinois and you're letting in the people who want it first, they're going to get it. Because I feel like in all these other areas, like you mentioned, if there's all these appointments open and people aren't getting it, then maybe people are coming up here to get it. I don't know, but you can get it where you know what I mean? Like, you just go get it where you can get it.
Just out of curiosity, myself and my husband are both vaccinated. Are your partners on board? Or I'm just wondering if there are any split households, like how does that work? Are they on board to get it or no?
Enrique wants it like I do, but neither of us, we don't have it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, same with us. And I actually said to Todd, too, because he also works in Cook County. I'm like, get registered in both counties so that you can get it as soon as you can. And, he's dragging his feet a little bit more.
I think this is the unfortunate thing about this vaccine rollout is just kind of the infighting between people about who's gotten it, who hasn't, the difficulty in getting it. But I think we've all kind of agreed. Shots in arms. We'll all get it eventually. You got to be, like any part of healthcare, right? You got to be your own best advocate. So you got to be calling every place that has a number to call. You got to be on every website that has a website to do it. I know it's annoying, but like if you want it, you got to fight for it.
You got to fight for your own. Yeah. You got to advocate for yourself.
Yeah.
For sure.
I wish it wasn't that hard, but they are making more, and I think they are underestimating a little bit. So they have more than what we think they
Yeah.
have, and hopefully they'll surprise us, and everybody will be vaccinated very soon. Okay. This conversation. We've been waiting on this. Chicago aldermen are talking about reparations to descendants of slaves. The subcommittee on reparations is focusing on the state of equity in the city of Chicago. And speaking with experts on the topic, nearby Evanston is using sales tax revenue from marijuana sales to get reparations to set up a housing reparations program there. Now, we got to bring Brandon Pope in because he has been actually following Evanston and how they're unfolding this and how they're working through this. Brandon, what are you seeing and what do you think about Chicago aldermen getting into this?
Yeah, I think that we've always seen for the past few years bills from Chicago aldermen to try to get reparations going. But I think the fact that Evanston got it done, and they're so close to Chicago, they're the first in the country, and the recent press that's come about because of it. Robin Rue Simmons, the alderwoman who started this whole thing, was featured on Soul of the Nation, a show on ABC about this whole thing, and it kind of started trending again because of that. So that's kind of what pushed us back into the conversation. So I think that this has got more momentum now to actually go forward. And there's a model for this already in Chicago. Chicago's paying reparations to people right now for the John Birch torture victims. If they follow a similar model to that, then this should be able to happen for sure.
But one thing I love about the Evanston program is the idea that it's coming from the revenue gain from legal marijuana sales, right? Like, because that's a direct thing that has impacted the Black community more than the white community for so many decades, people being jailed when they shouldn't have been. So it's almost like a double whammy. The idea of, okay, if we're going to have a lot of primarily white people making money now of something that Black people were put in jail for so many years, what a great way to fund this program and make it revenue neutral.
And I'm also surprised that Evanston started talking about this, a couple of years ago. The fact that Chicago, and I'm sure it was discussions that happened, but the fact that Chicago is getting on board publicly now and having these discussions, I'm surprised it took this long. Glad to see that our major city is also getting on board too. And I think we are going to be a model, obviously, for the rest of the nation.
So I could see housing, I could see tax cuts, I could see also student loans, that being a way to do reparations. I mean, and I love that Evanston is starting with housing because that is what created such a large wealth gap between Black and white communities and other brown communities as well. In the 40s, 50s, and 60s, Black people were they were not allowed to become homeowners in so many different levels in so many different ways. Redlining, they weren't allowed to get FHA loans from the Federal Housing Authority, or private lenders wouldn't lend to Black people, or maybe it was written into some of these suburban complexes, facilities. Some of these suburban communities wouldn't allow Black people to move in there. Maybe it was written into the HOA. So we missed out on that opportunity to be a part of the housing boom in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And that's kind of what helped widen this wealth gap so much. So to use housing reparations, I mean, I think that is certainly vindication there. And I know we have to wrap. I just wanted to say, though, that even having the conversation of talking about this, it just feels so good as a Black person that someone is acknowledging the fact that there was wrong done, and we are actively working to fix that and make it a better place for all of us here. That feels good.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, guys, Brandon, stick around for this because I got to go to my bookshelf here and get a book that I want to read you guys. This is called Cruise in the News. Okay, you ready for this? Okay.
Let's get
Senator Ted Cruz from Texas, who played Cancun Fast and Loose, is trying to raise money on the back of Dr. Seuss. Ooh, what's next? He's asking his donors to join him on the fight to stop cancel culture by signing a book he didn't write. For just $60, he says he'll sign Green Eggs and Ham. As for keeping Texans safe, does he even give a damn? That is what Ted Cruz is doing in the middle of cancel culture mania. Instead of helping folks out, he wants to raise money. For the record, you can buy the book for $4 on Amazon, and you can have. I was going to make a real terrible joke. Just sign it yourself and write Ted Cruz on it. It'll save you a lot of money.
with all the problems that are happening in Texas, where they have the power issues and the storms, and then he's in his own fallout from that trip to Cancun, is jumping on the back of Dr. Seuss so long or so near after all the controversy with his books being pulled the smartest idea. I almost feel like he's trying to dig his own grave, politically speaking.
Right. You hit it on the head, Amy. We got bigger things to focus on.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm impressed by John's rhyme scheme. That was very nice.
Yeah, who asked if it was a limerick?
I asked if it was a limerick.
Oh.
I also am. Amy and I are both curious as to where you found this time in the day to go and write all this poetry.
I cleared off a solid 2 hours.
He's quick.
We should get John to write children's books.
Oh God, I agree. So in. You wouldn't want the topic nature though. I really have no filter with that sort of stuff. So,
Right.
All right, Poker, what's coming up, my friend?
All right, guys. Well, guess what? Space is getting a little bit sexier. John's going to break it down for us later in what we call Moon News.
Yeah.
Did I do that right?
Can't talk.
Moon
News.
Can't do a kid's book about that. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Jam. Dozens of U.S. veterans and first responders die by suicide every single day in the United States. While post-traumatic stress is, of course, a key factor, the medication often prescribed can also contribute to this. Filmmaker Michael Gier's new Wounded Heroes documentary paves a different recovery option. And Michael, I know that this documentary started for you with one interview from a vet that completely shocked you.
Yeah, his name was Carl in San Diego. He was a medic in his 20s, and he told me he was on 16 different prescription medications, down from 18. And that was shocking to me. I didn't know anybody who was on that many medications in their 20s, of all things. And the worst part was he said it was just a Band-Aid. It didn't actually solve the problem of post-traumatic stress. So that sent me on a journey to find treatments and programs that would get our veterans and first responders off the medications and actually heal the wounds of post-traumatic stress.
Is his story unique, or are there many veterans, first responders who are prescribed pill after pill after pill?
Unfortunately, it was not unique. I didn't know that at the time, but as I started interviewing veterans and first responders, they brought it up during the interviews at how they were over medicated and how it made things worse for many of them. And sometimes the side effects were suicidal tendencies and depression, and they were already dealing with suicidal tendencies and depression. So taking a medication with a side effect just compounded the issue and made things worse. And unfortunately, it was something I saw regularly.
Describe, the conversation's got a lot better about PTS and where we go from here. I know that's a big part of it, people feeling comfortable that they can have that conversation. But what sorts of treatment have you discovered that seems to work better?
Well, the ones that we feature in the film, there's a number of reasons why they work, in my opinion, better. Of course, we interview all the doctors and experts and veterans and first responders to talk about it. But one is called Reconsolidation of Traumatic Memories, RTM. Another one is called Accelerated Resolution Therapy, ART. Both are neurological interventions. You don't even have to talk about the trauma, and you can get post-traumatic stress behind you, and you can do it via Zoom, which is important. There's horse therapy, something called stellate ganglion block, week-long programs, the Brain Treatment Center, just a number of things that we feature in the film.
What is standing in the way of making sure that folks that need it get these sorts of treatments, either instead of the medication or, in addition to? Is it a matter that the healthcare system hasn't caught up, or is it these things are just so new that not every doctor, not every place is able to do them?
I think part of it is just letting them know that it is available, number one. But the good news is the VA is starting to implement some of the programs that I do talk about in the film. They are in the VAs, and like RTM is coming into the VA. Fort Bragg is now doing stellate ganglion block a lot. There's a lot of them are recommending horse therapy and other outdoor things like fishing and golfing and archery and a lot of different programs. So they are coming along, but I think it's just letting them know that they're available and for them to see that it really does work.
I imagine your intended audience is obviously a lot of people that might be suffering, but if you can get in front of eyes of as many people as possible, just to, again, start those conversations so the right people hear this message.
Yeah, exactly. And, word of mouth, we just want people to help share that the film's available. They can send people to the website, woundedheroesdocumentary.com, but the film's available on all platforms, whether it's Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, everywhere. And the bottom line is we want to get it in front of people that need to see it, and we want to save lives. That was the goal of the film, and I believe it'll happen if people watch.
Oh, God willing. Michael, thank you so much. Congratulations on the project, and more congratulations, obviously, to the people that are going to see it and change lives. We appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you.
All right, let's get the information up on the screen. You mentioned it's streaming in a bunch of different places. WoundedHeroesDocumentary.com. Really a riveting piece of documentary, and it's great stuff. All right, Brandon.
All right, news you need to know. The Minneapolis City Council has unanimously approved a $27 million settlement for the George Floyd family. The federal investigation into Breonna Taylor's death in Louisville has expanded beyond the actions of the three officers involved in the raid and deeper into the culture and practices of the Louisville Police Department, including their actions during protests after the shooting. And a seventh person has come forward accusing New York Governor Andrew Cuomo of sexual harassment. Tons of New York political leaders have called for the governor to resign, but today he rejected those calls and blamed cancel culture for all this. Amy.
All right, thanks, Brandon. Coming up, the Queen of St. Patrick's Day and the emotional tie that binds her and her family to Chicago events. We will be right back. No, no worries. No worries. I can limit and then say we'll be right back. Well, for the second year in a row, the pandemic is shutting down St. Patrick's Day celebrations in Chicago, but it's not stopping this year's Queen, Kari McClowry, from fulfilling her duties. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Amy. Thanks for having me.
And you were Queen for 2020 as well. You got 2 years to deal with this pandemic. How did you get the title again?
So, yeah, 2020 and 2021, typically they have never done that. They host a Queen's contest every year at Plumbers Local Union 130, but because of the pandemic, they weren't able to host the Queen's contest. So they had me roll over again, and the girls on court as well.
That was very smart, and also kind of gives you an opportunity now that things are starting to open up a little bit to at least do a little bit more. Although I should say, we should talk about this, all the celebrations for the weekend are going to be virtual.
Yes, everything for Saturday, March 13th will be virtual, so everyone can tune in safely from the comfort of their own home, not have to worry about spreading germs and all that kind of stuff.
And still get to celebrate the holiday, which is awful fun for a lot of people. And we should talk about, this is really a family affair for you. Several generations of your family have had this role. What was it like for you to take it on? I know your father had passed away before you got the role the first year, but it must feel really good to carry on that tradition.
Yeah, absolutely. So my dad's mom, my Nana, was the queen in 1947. And then his little sister, my Aunt Sheila, was the queen in 1987. So growing up, I had always, heard about this. And I have 5 sisters. So my dad always wanted one of his 6 daughters to become the queen and kind of carry on the family tradition. And I was the only one who tried out for it. So on my 3rd time, I finally got queen. But yeah, like you said, my dad had passed away 5 months prior, so he wasn't able to be there. But the moment I was crowned, they started playing his favorite song, which was When Irish Eyes Are Smiling.
Yeah.
And I just completely felt his presence. And it was such a beautiful moment that I'll never, ever forget.
Tell me a little bit about what some of the responsibilities are in the role, and then kind of how you guys have pivoted them in the pandemic.
So yeah, there's a lot of community events, charity fundraisers. We did a fundraiser dinner last year for Misericordia. We participated in the Polar Plunge benefiting Special Olympics. So this year things have been different, but we've still been able to get together safely, wearing masks, socially distanced, a lot of virtual events as well. So it's nice to kind of be out there in the community, but just in a different way.
Do you have any messages for any other young girls or women who kind of want to step into a role, even if it's not the exact one you have, but something like it? Because I'm sure it's very daunting and nerve-wracking to put yourself out there like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Always believe in yourself and never, ever give up. Like I said, this was my 3rd time trying. The first time, nothing. The second time, nothing. So never give up. If you want something, go for it, and always believe in yourself. You can do anything you put your mind to. Thank you so much, Amy, and happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to you too. And if you'd like some more information about all the fun things going on for St. Patrick's Day, the virtual parade, you can go to Chicago St. Pat's Parade. You can see them on Facebook, Instagram, on the website there as well. And we will be right back right after this. somebody keeps like logging onto Brady's stuff and it keeps asking me for like his password or his Apple ID. I'm like, whoa, stop.
Mhm.
It's probably the church.
It's
Yeah, it
Jesus.
is.
Jesus is calling.
Jesus, get out of my prompter.
All right, it's time for moon news, and this one's a doozy. All right, so scientists want to send a whole bunch of sperm to the moon. It's part of their repopulation plan for when we destroy this place. The human seed vault, which I think I've been to a bar with that name,
man.
would act as a sort of sperm version of Noah's Ark, except they want 6.7 million kind on the moon. Which that graphic right there we should not use with those two circles next to each
That's
other.
not really. I don't want to know what a further is.
Oh man, there's so many
Probably think
jokes
that-
to be made right here.
So many.
Side note, the Human Seed Vault, it does seem like it'd be the name of a comedy club or a bar
I know.
or something in
Can't we
Boys
just, like,
Town.
Expansion, replication.
Or
I
a
don't know.
Kardashian.
Oh man, this is funny. I don't know. Would you want to send your reproductive thing?
Of course
into
I will. Take it all.
outer
Yeah.
space?
I would totally. I would do it.
I want more Rutledges in the year 2500. Let's get them
I
all
would
going.
do it for science, all for science,
Yeah.
because I believe
Brandon.
in science. You know, I
Yeah.
totally
Do it for
that.
science, Brandon.
Now are they
Yeah.
bringing the men up to the moon to do that, and then they get to come back, or is it?
No.
That's a fun trip then.
Good question.
It's just like it is here on Earth, John Hanson. It's in a closet with a magazine, and you're good.
Very fun trip.
What, like
It's
a like
so
a
much
rocket
harder
ship
for
to the
females.
moon, baby.
It's
Check
so
out the
much harder
craters
for
on that one.
females.
Can I say
Oh,
something that might get me fired?
It's
Blast
Friday.
off. We'll be back,
Friday.
everyone.
Oh, we'll be right back.
Oh my.
Oh, yeah, Felicia. All right, we are wide awake now, right? John's still jiggling about moon news.
Yeah, the jokes about the moon sperm bank continue on our group chat. All of these would get us fired. We can read none of them.
Which is a very safe place for those to remain in the group chat.
That's where they will stay. Yes. Welcome back to the Jam, everybody. I'm Amy Rutledge alongside John Hanson, Miss Felicia Lawrence. Thanks for joining us.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll make it a good one. Time for Chicago in 60. It is an attack on daylight savings time. 7 Illinois lawmakers have created bills to stop the time change. They're citing that more daylight means more money for businesses. FYI, just so you know, we spring forward on Sundays, so set your clocks.
Also, just Chicago, an FYI, it's not savings, it's saving time. That's actually
thank you.
Yeah. Like not ATMs, just ATM.
Did you? Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to it. I love the late sunset. All those people that complain about it, whatever.
This one.
Okay, 2 things y'all could have kept to yourself. Got it. Chicago. Thanks, guys. Chicago is moving into phase 1C for COVID vaccines. This next phase will be for people with underlying medical conditions and essential workers. Just so you know, phase 2, making all Chicagoans eligible 16 and up, is expected to begin May 31st. Fingers crossed it starts a little sooner.
Okay.
Oh, y'all don't have any more points?
I have more points about daylight saving than I do about vaccines.
Okay, moving on. 8 businesses have been cited for violating COVID-19 safety restrictions last weekend. Businesses could face closure or fines for not following the rules. Investigators will be out monitoring bars and restaurants this St. Patrick's Day weekend, so everyone stay safe, okay? And reps for the Chicago Auto Show are talking with state officials about a possible July return. The issue, they're trying to make sure capacity limits do not interfere with profit. We'll see what happens. This will be the first big convention that we've had since the lockdown.
Doesn't that seem like a bad idea at all points this early on in the recovery phase? I don't know. It's such a big thing in Chicago. Like, do we bring back like the biggest convention we have?
Yeah. Which is why they
end of the pandemic.
Which is why they want it, because it makes money. It all comes down to, and I think you could do it. I think you could do it safely, but it's going to come down to ticketing and capacity. Like, how many people can we let in for a 2-hour time period in this slot? Like, it's going to be like how we do the museums, you know?
Makes me nervous. All right. Let's get into sports. Little B Pope is going to be joining us here too, and I don't mean little B Pope.
Little B Pope.
B Pope.
The smallest of B Pope.
The smallest
of endearing.
By the way, Jennifer Lopez and A-Rod have called it quits. Kind of sports, but not. But it's my kind of sports. The power couple has been together for 4 years. Engaged for 2. They postponed their wedding twice, blaming it on the pandemic, but there's plenty of rumors about a cheating scandal with reality TV star Madison LaCroix. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh. Gasp.
So,
J-Lo.
Put that in your sports pocket. Okay, Michigan State fans were not happy yesterday after a press release implied the basketball team would be tweaking its name to MSU Spartans, presented by Rocket Mortgage. MSU Athletics sent out another release today assuring fans that it's just a sponsorship and no names are getting changed.
Okay.
Rocket's not bad, right?
I thought it was an April Fool's joke. But apparently, I'm glad they cleared it up, because I was definitely kind of like, what?
It's a mouthful.
What would Illinois football be sponsored by, Brandon?
Sponsored by Lou Malnati's or something.
I was going to say something pizza related, right?
Yeah, I was
the food that'll make you as sluggish as the players. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. John.
College hoops teams are on the clock. Teams must be able to have 5 players with negative tests for 7 straight days to get to the Indianapolis mini bubble to start the NCAA tournament. Problems for the ACC tourney. Duke was out yesterday. Virginia is out today after a positive COVID test. Kansas is in the Big 12 as well. So who's going to make it? Doesn't matter about skill anymore. Now it's about COVID tests.
Exactly. It's about health. It's anybody's guess. But hey, let's hope that Loyola and U of I, let's hope that they are good to go and everything's squared away, because it'd be special to see both those teams make a run this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd
Can
be
you
amazing.
imagine working all year, you're fighting COVID things, and then it happens like this late in the season? It's a good reminder to
No.
all the players to like button it all up, do it all right.
Exactly.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
No, I can't
Yeah.
imagine that either.
That's also a slogan I'm going to teach my kids too. Button it up, do it
I
all
know.
right.
Which can have
Come
many
over to my
connotations.
house. You can start teaching.
Okay, if you are obsessed, Brandon, stick around for this one too. We're going to keep you on for this one.
Sure. Okay.
If you're obsessed with nature documentaries like I am, you will be thrilled at what the folks at the San Diego Zoo are doing to help preserve our planet's animals.
Here we have the San Diego Zoo and the San Diego Zoo Safari Park in San Diego. But we also work around the globe on 6 continents across 8 conservation hubs that are our priority areas of work. And so we're happy to share that with you today.
And Nadine, what sorts of steps? I mean, obviously you guys are doing a lot where you do, but I imagine this isn't just you guys locally doing it. This is a global effort where everyone really can take part in this.
That's correct. So we take the skill set of our wildlife care specialists, our conservation scientists, our veterinarians, nutritionists, and educators, and we incorporate that into our conservation hubs that Paul just mentioned. The focus of our work is safeguarding biodiversity. We save plants and animals and their genetic diversity. We do this by taking a One Health approach. We really focus on the interconnectedness of the health of wildlife, people, and the environment, and we link that to the health of our planet. We also work collaboratively with partners in country. Those include the Nature Conservancy, Polar Bears International, Northern Rangelands Trust, Save the Elephants, and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. We do all of this work to restore, protect, and serve wildlife.
Well, I know you guys got a lot going on here today. I hear we might meet one friend, though, or a little visitor.
Yeah, we have a great visitor for you today, right over here.
Hi, Marco here, I'm ambassador to San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance. Now, we have a very special ambassador for you to meet. Meet Estrella. Now, Estrella is called a two-toed sloth. Now, she's an excellent representative of the vibrant biodiversity you can find in the Amazon. You know, we have 8 conservation hubs really focusing to be more impactful for wildlife. And she is an excellent representative of all the wonderful wildlife. For instance, the flagship species, the jaguar or the Andean hare. We're trying to be very impactful out there because it's really all about conservation. It's at the heart of what we do. It's that connection we make with people and wildlife on a day-to-day basis that really what matters, because when we innovate, when we collaborate, when we inspire, we're helping people and wildlife thrive together for a healthy planet.
Marco, Paul, and Nadine, I am vibing with that sloth right now. Let me tell you that. All right. Thank you guys so much for sharing this stuff. Let's get the information on the screen for the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance, how you might be able to visit, participate, and learn a lot more. I am in love with nature documentaries and the mutual symbiotic relationships between the animals of our planet and the ecosystems of our world. And which was a real important sentence I just put together with a lot of big words. But
I was like, John's talking about symbiotic. I'm like, the sloth is so cute.
He was holding that in. He was holding that
really cool.
one in. And when he says he's obsessed about it, he really means that he would like to do voiceover like Oprah and Morgan Freeman.
Like Attenborough. Oh,
Yes.
big Attenborough voice.
I'm right there with you, John. I would love to do something like that, but certainly this is a good cause.
Yeah,
So
they are.
cool,
And they're
yeah.
obviously a premier zoo in this country that people flock to. And the fact that they're tackling this and really focusing on the conservation efforts too to help people out is great. I'll do a little voiceover. The Brandon Pope tease is ahead. When Brandon knows it's coming, he smiles big. The wicker basket bookshelf behind him is his shelter when he
Guess
needs
who Amy
it.
is?
Amy's that
This is
sloth.
Guess who
sloth.
Amy is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the sloth thing. That's what we do, right? The slow little animals. Hey guys, just ahead though, we got a pretty cool story here. You're about to meet a history maker. Chris Welch was going to tell us what being the first Black Speaker of the Illinois House means to him. We'll be right back after this. All right, welcome back. So it's a new era in the state of Illinois. After more than 40 years, Representative Emmanuel Chris Welch has taken up the gavel of the state house and being the first Black person to do so. It's an honor and responsibility he does not take lightly.
There have been a few key moments over the past month that have really made it sink in, and you really take time to appreciate this moment. And a couple of those times were with my family, particularly with my son, that really made it sing home. And it's an honor, it's a privilege, and I'm proud to be in this moment.
You shared an image recently that I loved of you and your parents touring the state capitol. What did it mean for you to have that moment with them and have them see you in this position?
Well, I'm just truly blessed, man, that my parents are alive and well enough to enjoy this moment. They're so proud. They wanted to come down and see the new speaker's offices, and just watching them in that moment is one of those things that you'll never forget. And they can't stop talking about it.
I bet. I mean, walking in that chamber alone is powerful. I mean, so much history has been made right there. And here we are, a Black man who has the gavel. First time ever. We've had a new leader, first time in 40 years. It's a big change for a lot of people. Have people been receptive to it? Because I'm sure you've shaken up a little bit of things. I'm sure you changed the way things kind of go.
I think people have been very receptive, Brandon. You know, I was prepared for this moment, and it took others to tell me that I was prepared for this moment, including my predecessor, Speaker Madigan, when he made that call to me on Monday morning, January 11th. Many of my colleagues asked me to step up into this moment. And it's one of those things where, you know, when I called my wife and talked to her about the idea, and she said, "You're ready, and I'll support you if this is what you want to do, because I think you're going to do great things for the state." And so I'm excited. It's busier than I've ever been before. But man, I'm excited about the opportunity to do some good things for the state of Illinois.
This guy, he's a very you could tell that he's really passionate about this, and he's got his heart in the right place. So it was really cool to talk to him, kick it. We talked for about really 15 minutes, but so it's hard to kind of parse down everything that we were talking about there. But I'm really excited to see what this House does with his leadership going forward.
It's so cool to see him with his parents too. I was like, as a parent myself, I'm like, God, I can't even imagine how proud they are. I mean, just to be in that moment for so many different reasons, how amazing that is. It's pretty cool.
Making history, we'll be looking forward to what good he could bring to the position. Okay, thanks, B.
No doubt.
Dictionary.com announced its newest entries. In the COVID category, we have doom scrolling, okay? Obsessively reading social media news. There's also sourdough, super spreader, and
wait, that wasn't in the dictionary? Sourdough?
I'm just the messenger, so according to dictionary.com, yes.
Before Jesus. I mean, come on.
Yeah, maybe not sourdough bread.
Oh, come on.
I'm confused. We'll investigate further.
Another one of those words was unmute, and I thought that would have been in the dictionary already, but nonetheless, this is what they got. Okay. The website also focused on race issues and Black American slang. Here we go. Okay. BIPOC, Black Indigenous people of color. Okay. Also reparation. We've just talked about that. And then child, not Chile. It's child, please.
Chile. That's what I thought it was.
I'm happy to see that make it, because I say that a lot. And Amy's like, "What do you keep bringing Chile up for?" Oh, and I got to say about the finna. I love the finna. So I'm going to go to the store. I said that statement amongst a room of North Carolinians when I went to college. And everybody said, "What? And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Funny.
I'm finna go to the store. And so I didn't even know what they were talking about. And they were like, what is that word you're saying to? And it's a derivative of I'm fixing to. You know, they call Chicago the up south because of the Great Migration. And instead of saying I'm fixing to, I'm finna go to the store.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
I didn't know it was regional. I thought all of us did that. All of us, you know.
Apparently not, Brandon. They were shocked at me.
Yeah.
Well, in the great history of what we do, I used finna for the first time today in a group chat, which means it's over. That ain't cool
The
anymore.
word isn't cool anymore.
It is no longer
If I'm
cool.
if I'm using finna or anything else, boy, that's not cool. I like any internet trend.
Chile all the time now, Felicia.
Child, let me tell you, okay. I'm finna go to this next story before these producers get on us.
All right, let's head to break. And as we do, we'll look at your 7-day forecast brought to you by 3-Day Blinds. Well, that's the Kennedy. 3-Day Blinds, you'll love the treatment. We'll be back with 90 seconds with Blindside the Jam. Ooh. Okay, here we go.
Okay. Which of your percentage traits would be a red flag on a first date? Ooh.
Oh, wow.
John Hanson, you go first.
Wow.
Go ahead, John.
I mean, I bear them all out on this show. Like, come on. Someone, like on my first dates, I'd be going down some rabbit hole about President Teddy Roosevelt, and I would be so engrossed in it, I'd look up and the date would be out the door, like before you even knew it. So I'd say my own willingness to just talk so much in general about nonsense. Did I still enough time for you, Amy, or do we got to go elsewhere?
Oh, Brandon next.
Okay.
This is a tough one. I don't feel like I have any red flags. It may be
there it is. Right there.
My humor. I tend to look at things too humorously when maybe I should be more serious sometimes. Maybe that's.
What a cop out! That's like in a job interview, being like, my weakness is I care too much. Oh, BS. I'm too funny.
I'm too positive. I'm too funny.
Y'all are hilarious. Okay, what would be mine?
Go ahead, Felicia.
Honey, where do we begin? Where do we start?
I think people immediately think that I come off. Well, no, that's true.
No. Felicia, here's the red flag.
I like the finer things in life, and I like to enjoy myself, and I want somebody else who likes the finer things in life and likes to enjoy themselves.
That's fine. So but Felicia, when you ask for a credit report on your first date, that's going to be a problem.
That is going to be a problem.
If we're not here, I want mentally healthy, spiritually healthy, physically healthy. I want you to be financially healthy too.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that.
Amy, do you have one yet or what?
waiting.
I was just like, kind of waiting. Maybe I can pass me up. I don't think mine would show up on the first date per se, because my anal retentiveness takes a little while for you to get a hold of. You're like, oh, she's really on time. Oh, she's really on time. Oh God, she's crazy early. Oh my God, she's insane. And I think it would take a couple dates before we got to that point. I think I'm like an onion. It takes a while for the crazy to come
You're
out.
too on time and Brandon's too funny. I mean, what are we doing here, people?
Oh, no, I didn't say too on time. I'm anal retentive. That's not the same thing.
What does that mean?
I realize it means I'm uptight.
Stop saying that word so many times about how many dates it takes to get there. We'll be back after the break.
Well, that's dangerous.
Is Brandon coming in too?
Good. The more ish, the better.
Oh boy, new segment alert. It's called No-ish, Sherlock. The headlines that make you say, well, no-ish, Sherlock.
Right?
Breaking news from the UPI, a serious news organization. Breaking news. People in the pandemic are drinking and eating more, and they're not sleeping as much. But pandemic stresses people gaining weight. Wow. Well, the CEO of the American Psychological Association says the poll says the crisis might have serious mental and physical health consequences for many years to come. Yeah. No-ish, Sherlock.
Right? Why are they just commissioning this study now? What are they doing this now for? A year in?
I could have told you that in March. Like the last one.
Last
this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
I could have told you that the day after the shutdown.
Okay, we're a year in. I'm going to ask each one of you guys, how much weight have you gained? John, go.
Maybe 3 or 4 pounds, but it's all muscle weight. And I know I say that every year, but this year I actually gained, I know I say that, but I've lost inches in my weight and I've lost fitting in my waist. So it's got to be muscle, right?
Gotta be. Gotta be. Brandon.
I actually lost weight during all of this, so I'm pretty proud of myself.
We are completely outside the poll. How is this possible that we are not part of the people that are part of the poll?
You haven't asked Felicia yet. You haven't yet.
I don't know if I'm outside that poll. I've yo-yoed a bit, and then I stabilized in the wrong direction, and then yo-yoed a bit, and so now I think I'm going down. It's not an easy explanation. So I think I'm close to where I started.
I went in the very, very beginning. I went up like 6 to 8 pounds, and then I lost a bunch of weight because I went crazy on the workouts. And then I stabilized a little bit, and now I'm probably a little up a little bit. I'm probably a little thicker than I was before, but I'm good thick. Like John, it's all muscle.
Yes,
all
the right places.
Right. Our director says, now let's talk drinking. Because that's...
I did find a new favorite drink in the pandemic.
We're
I'm
second
ashamed.
from
I
the
have a
weekend.
favorite drink. I've now switched to old fashions. I went from martinis to old fashions.
Impressive.
That's what the pandemic
Good for you.
Yeah,
I will drink an entire bottle of wine in one sitting. I'll go through an entire bottle of whiskey in a weekend. Yeah, I got to do better on
That's
that.
called a
I gotta
Wednesday,
quit.
Brandon.
Wow.
Come on.
You guys,
pretty good.
I've actually reeled myself in during the pandemic because I have that indulging personality, and I don't want to go overboard. So I have to really create those boundaries for myself. So in the
Good for
spirit
you.
of self-regulating, just shouts out to those people who are trying to work on that too.
I do the same
I'm
a
pretty
little
proud of
bit.
myself. You'd think that we moved to an evening show. It could be every night, but I'm still just Friday or Saturday night sticking with the limit. Speaking of
And it's
which,
Friday!
night, there we go. You can talk
Have a
to
great
me and
weekend,
text me till
everybody.
3 in the morning. Have a great weekend, everyone.
See you
Bye.
Monday.
See you Monday.